Salutations, Utopians. Hope all is well in your world. Global here. There was two summer league games tonight, and one of them really caught my eye more realistically, and that was the Utah Jazz versus the Memphis Grizzlies. The game, the outcome was decided by one. Gigi Jackson hit a three, but the refs called it off. I'm gonna be honest with you, it looked like he hit the three. Might as well start it off with Gigi Jackson. Um, Speaking of game winners, he had 27 tonight. He's looking strong. He's looking healthy. And most importantly, he doesn't look like he belongs out there running in Summer League. Uh, he was very sure of himself, confident. 11 of 18 from the field, 3 of 8, 5 boards, no dimes, which that's not his job. He shouldn't be worrying about getting anyone open. He won't be handling the ball. He'll be scoring. Jalen Wells, that's the other encouraging sign. 23 points. He did it on 6 of 18 scoring. When you see that, a lot of times where a fellow starter is getting off, you'll start seeing guys jacking shots, forcing. You'll see guys jacking shots, trying to keep up with their fellow starting counterpart. Um, if it's just not there for Jalen, I'd rather see him distribute. Shooting a 6 of 18. I know he's rusty coming off a back-to-back, coming off a second summer league game, but he was a little bit, forcing the issue. Not to mention, the Jazz have some very physical, athletic guards. Collier, Elijah Harkless. They got wings out there. They got guards out there who can apply pressure. Cam Spencer, 23 points, 7 of 10 shooting from 3. This is a guy who showed he's not afraid of the moment in the playoffs. In the season, regular season last year, he's not afraid of the moment. He damn sure not gonna be afraid of it in summer league. Um, Meshack, a guy who reminds me of DeAnthony Melton. This is where I'm saying I'm confused because I thought he was going to the Warriors. He was announced in the Warriors trade, and now I see him playing for the Grizzlies. But he reminds me of DeAnthony Melton. He's supposed to be a 3-and-D strong guard from Tennessee. He's playing for Memphis. That's a good story though, to be able to play in front of the hometown after you were playing for them in college. Memphis Grizzlies, all in all, put up a good fight, but ultimately lost. Now, the most intriguing thing to me tonight, Ace Bailey bouncing back. I told y'all, he ended that game against Philly, giving a big hug to VJ Edgecombe. You could tell he was really, genuinely happy for his outburst performance, and it was great to watch. Philly did play earlier, but very underwhelming game from both sides. Nothing too exciting. The focus tonight was Ace Bailey. He was the man of the hour. He looked so much more calm, patient. I think he had to really just shake off all the hostility and the media attention and scrutiny. And this might sound bold because I know no player is bigger than the program, but just the mere fact that him falling to Utah and Danny Ainge, I think Philly is gonna wish they took him, regardless of what happened. Being a backup to Paul George, there's more direction towards a starting role eventually than what VJ Edgecombe is going to have to deal with being in Philly as an undersized 3 in order to see the day of light. Because they got McCain, they got Maxey, they just re-up Kyle Lowry, Quentin Grimes. There's pressure to re-sign Quentin Grimes. Still got, I'm seeing his face, the southpaw scorer from. Give me one moment. I gotta pull it up. No way I can act like he doesn't exist. Not. I don't know why I want to say Thaddeus Young so bad. Kelly Oubre. And, they also re-signed Eric Gordon, Ricky Councils, who's not even playing in the Summer League. Jared Butler's looking promising out there. He's had his moments. Justin Edwards is the one I'm trying to. He's had his moments in Summer League as well. Not to let that go unnoticed. So it's just kind of like Oubre, yes, Oubre is a steady presence, but ultimately, um, he too has an expiration that possibly will pave the way for Ace Bailey, 2 years max, where Ace Bailey can get out there. Now he might get a little bit more immediate time with Jazz, but I feel like the Jazz are still trying to win. They just performed a big time trade today with involving three-team trade with the Clippers, uh, moving off Norman Powell, getting Collins, 6'10" big. I'm going to do a more in-depth video on that trade, but just understand, people are calling the Jazz tanking. Well, Flipowski, as I've continued to give glowing reviews, 11 of 13, 4 of 12 tonight, 0 for 3, but from the trade land. But you see what the potential is with him. Cody Williams is the guy who I think is going to benefit the most from the presence of Ace Bailey. This guy has 16 points tonight, 6 of 10, 1 of 3. He has such a cerebral arsenal of moves he can use out there. There's moments where he looks brilliant. His motor comes and goes. And I think with a guy like a peer like Ace Bailey, it's going to really put that battery in his back to lock in, because his career is flashing before his eyes. Ace is already starting to meet from a little bit higher of a plateau, just being more physically gifted, athletically. And I think when you have that guy who kind of has sports a similar style of game, it does wonders for your development process. He can go hand in hand with Ace Bailey out there, shoulder to shoulder. They can go to war every night, and I think it's going to add an extra layer because you were there a year before him. There's pressure on you. He can score all kinds of ways. You can as well, even though he's more supremely gifted again. But this season is not a wash. Now, Utah is one of those franchises like the Magic, like a couple teams that put out good rosters, and then for whatever reason things don't come to fruition. But the Jazz are extremely slept on and could definitely be dangerous from play-in. You don't forget they still got Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, even though we keep hearing his name being paired to tied with the Lakers. He is still a Jazz, and that makes a premier 7-foot rim protector paired with a 3-level scoring player in Lauri Markkanen, who leads 7-footers in the last couple of years in 3-pointers made. So, and then with Filipowski getting key depth minutes and showing that he belongs last year in fill-in time when Markkanen was absent, you're just starting to see it come together for the Jazz. I mean, slowly but surely. Don't forget, Walter Clayton, yeah, he had 24 minutes and only 4 points, but he had 6 dimes. He looks very comfortable out there, and he looks like a guy who can get what he wants out in the league. He's going to find a way to carve a niche for himself. I like him in a backup role, especially if Collier starts. Remember, Collier broke the Jazz single-season rookie record for assists. Yes, they got John Stockton, who I think is like top 2 in assists all time. So that tells you something. Obviously, the pace of the game has changed since the ball last year was drafted out of Ohio State. 2003. He's a sharpshooter, had 37 tonight. Don't let that fall on deaf ears. So, I mean, this team has got players, and it's not to be slept on. You know what I mean? And they're not tanking, and they're not throwing the season away. People think A.J. DiBeneste committing to BYU and the Jazz being a big-time donor and alumni is going to influence anything. Listen, the Jazz look like they can really sneak up on some teams. They have more overall roster than a lot of the top teams in the league who are binded by super max players. So be on the lookout. So this was a great, entertaining game. It met all expectations. They won by 1 point, the Jazz, but more importantly, you've seen Ace Bailey get more comfortable, and he's settling in, and the noise is starting to disappear, and I think he'll come out victorious being matched with the Jazz. Hope this video was informative, Utopians. I'll try to do better next time. Global, out.